Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. It's your girl, Denise Salcedo, and it is Friday, November 22nd. I am joined by Robin Lundberg to chat some WWE Smackdown. And today, the stream started a little bit late because, dang, we ended with a very, very explosive ending to SmackDown that had me all over the place. I was posting on social media, changing the thumbnail, because as you guys know, when the show ends with like a crazy, hectic kind of news, things get kind of chaotic over here. But Robin, we're here. How are you feeling coming off of those last few minutes of SmackDown?
Yeah, I gotta be honest. It felt like a for lack of a better word, boring edition of SmackDown for most of it. And then, boy, oh boy, there was a jolt at the end. And the jolt came in a couple different ways, right? Because we get the Paul Heyman return, and I see him wearing that red shirt, and I'm like, something going on here. I wasn't sure exactly what was going to happen. But then, when not only do you get the Paul Heyman return, but he calls out CM Punk, and the CM Punk addition to the War Games match just makes it so much more interesting. We had thought it was going to be Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed on the respective teams because of their feuds, and that would have been fine, but it would have felt rushed with the Seth Rollins Roman Reigns aspect of that angle and just sort of shoehorning Rollins in because of his feud with Bronson Reed. So I think CM Punk makes that match more interesting just by his presence. And then that shot that they sort of end on with Paul Heyman in the middle on Roman Reigns on one side and CM Punk on the other side. Obviously, that was a sight to see, considering Paul Heyman has been the mouthpiece for those guys. So that was kind of poetic as well. I don't want to say the only thing missing was Brock Lesnar, but you get the picture.
Of the who is Paul Heyman gonna pick type of situation. Yo, it was wild because there was just so much that went down in those final few moments. So, like Robin said, like we get this moment, and you kind of knew it, right? Because we kicked off SmackDown with the new Bloodline, basically talking all of this whole kind of saying the same things they've been saying over and over about how about how Roman Reigns needs to surrender and acknowledge him, and all stuff that we've heard before. We then get a backstage segment where Roman's bloodline is back there with Jimmy and Jay and Sami, and they're looking like really stressed out. They're really, really putting their heads together, trying to figure out who is this fifth member going to be. Obviously, they tried to get Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins said, nah, I'm not going to be there for Roman Reigns, right? And then for a second, you kept thinking, well, maybe they'll get him back, but they did not. So Roman finally decides, hey, we don't need a fifth man. Let's just do us four. And if we die, whatever, right? So he was willing to go on without it. And then at the closing of the show, we had the original bloodline and the new bloodline facing down each other. And Robin, this was the moment where I think people felt it, where you felt it, because I kept thinking, all right, someone's music is about to play. I don't know whose music. I have some theories as to whose music it might be, but someone's music is going to play. And I was off because it ended up being someone's voice. And it was the returning Paul Heyman. Now, we haven't seen Paul Heyman since he got put through the table by the new bloodline, taken out, completely disheveled, all of that. And right when he came out, he started saying, like, basically, no, War Games is not going to happen without you guys having five guys. Like, I can do math. You guys are one guy short. And at that point, I'm going, all right, he's bringing out CM Punk. Mm-hmm. And there was a slight moment where I thought, like, could it be Brock? Then I was like, nah, I don't think it's going to be Brock. It's got to be CM Punk. And so it definitely was CM Punk. And I feel like, Robin, we kind of needed CM Punk here. And I want to say specifically why, because it had been this Survivor Series will mark 1 year since his return to the WWE. How the hell do you not have CM Punk on that card? I know he's got all of these Hollywood projects. They just announced another one today. They announced one last month, so he's very, very busy. I get that. But I'm like, we definitely need CM Punk here at the Survivor Series. Again, marking the 1 year return to the company. So, Robin, I was so freaking stoked about CM Punk being included in War Games. As a big CM Punk fan, I just like the idea of him being in War Games. But at this point, man, that team, that Roman Reigns' team is so freaking star-studded. Like, there ain't no way that the new bloodline is going to get a win over them. Like, no way in hell. But on top of that, the ending, getting to see Roman and CM Punk, they didn't shake hands, they didn't hug, they didn't have like a moment where they were like, hey, yo, we're buddies. No, but he came out there and they had a little bit of a stare down. I don't know how to explain it. Like they're on the same side, but they're not hugging and kissing and all of that.
No. That's a future blockbuster match. That is what you saw right there. And in fact, I know we've talked about all these different matches. Roman Cody 3 obviously is a huge one. Roman and Rock is a potential huge one. Cody and Rock is a potential huge one. Cody and Randy is a potential huge one. I don't know if Roman and Punk doesn't have the highest ceiling for a feud to go, right? Like just like a natural organic feud, those two cutting each other up on the mic, leading up into a one-on-one showdown when they really haven't had that much, history interaction in that sense where it's been extended, where you've seen them together like that. So I think that's a really, really, really money feud for WWE in the future. In the meantime, it elevates the star power of War Games, the intrigue of War Games. And let's not sell the other bloodline short. They do got Fatu, and they do got that big boy Bronson Reed. So, like those double splashes coming off, that could be something. And also, the War Game structure is good for CM Punk because at this juncture in his career, it's a little harder for him to, I think, carry a match that's like flying around all over the place where he has to be the central figure. That's why I think the deliberate matches with him have worked really well, like the strap match that he did, and of course the last match that he had with Drew McIntyre, which was great inside the confines where they're using that as part of the story. And in this case, obviously CM Punk will come in for spurts inside the match or spots inside the match. And I think it's tailor-made for him in that regard. And then to my point I was just making, I think Roman is the perfect opponent for him in the ring because Roman tells a story better than anybody else, I think, in the ring. Like as far as his pacing goes, he may not flip around. He may not come out gangbusters at the beginning, but Roman always paces the match, uses his facial expression, sort of works with the crowd, works with his opponent, talks to his opponent, all that. And then it gets more dramatic as the match goes along. So I think for a future CM Punk Roman Reigns match, in addition to what they can do on the mic, I think they're a nice counterbalance in the ring.
Dude, it's so wild because obviously we're only a couple months away shy from starting that WrestleMania season, right? Like we know once January hits, although this year Royal Rumble's on February 1st. But like to me, obviously, as a lifelong pro wrestling fan, Robin and everybody here in the chat, like the second we get to January, like we know it's WrestleMania season. Like WrestleMania season is upon us. And now I'm kind of in a place now where I'm starting to think, okay, what the hell is our WrestleMania main event thing going to look like? Because how many times haven't we talked about all of these different scenarios where we were talking about Cody Rhodes and The Rock, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, although I don't think that would happen for a third time again, but regardless, I'll throw that in there. But then on top of that, Seth Rollins CM Punk still hasn't happened. That's been something. We've still been waiting for CM Punk to get his WrestleMania main event. So I'm saying all of this to say, oh, and then on top of that, you got John Cena, who's going to be, making his last goodbyes next year and, his last WrestleMania, all of that good stuff, right? What I'm trying to say here is now that scene is looking a lot more crowded. Now, I don't think we're going to get Roman Reigns, CM Punk, for example, at this WrestleMania. Maybe the WrestleMania after that. I don't know. But what they did tonight, though, is put that idea in our head as a possibility. So now all of a sudden we're sitting here going, shit, we got a whole soup of options here of what different directions we're going to end up with at WrestleMania. But man, this was very exciting, Robin. I love the ending of SmackDown tonight.
Yeah, beyond just WrestleMania too, so Seth and Roman is still something that needs to happen. Seth and Punk needs to happen. I think Roman and Punk could obviously headline a WrestleMania, but you have to remember they're moving SummerSlam to 2 nights. And the goal of that, I think, is to have 2 WrestleManias. A WrestleMania when the normal one is, and then a WrestleMania in the summer, and they need that to go right. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see a WrestleMania-esque card in at SummerSlam at MetLife Stadium in the summer. So you have all those possibilities. And 2 things that are noteworthy in a sense. One, Did John Cena not post a picture of Stardust on his Instagram? Not
Did he? I've
yeah.
lost track of what he's posted because he always posts like all of that cryptic stuff.
Yeah, he posted a picture of Stardust on his Instagram not that long ago. So
And
that
he was also at the Nightmare Factory.
so what about like John Cena and Cody Rhodes is a really
But
interesting match.
also, Cody Rhodes was at The Rock's Moana premiere. But no, I feel you on that because I was starting to wonder in that direction about John Cena and Cody Rhodes because Cody did say that there was some big plans for him coming up at WrestleMania, and we don't know what The Rock's movie
Mhm.
schedule looks like.
But they promoted the hell out of The Rock on the Netflix promo. He's in, his catchphrases and stuff. So he's going to be on Raw, the first Raw on Netflix. That's a guarantee. I would bet $1 million right now that The Rock is on that episode. And he's up. I mean, I don't have $1 million bet, but
I was
I'll
about to
go.
say, bro, I was like, I would take you on it, but also I bet that he's going to be on there too. But I just want the $1 million.
I'll just be in significant debt. But whatever. Rock can pay me back. Anyhow, I think they promoted him so heavily on that Netflix that he's clearly going to be a part of the future plans. Rock came out and did the whole thing. We still haven't seen what that was about. So that's happening. Those are big ass players to have up in the air as wild cards. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, John Cena, The Rock, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, on and on down the line.
Dude, it's insane. But man, I feel like it's funny because this isn't even the go home show into Survivor Series. Survivor Series is not until the end of the month. We're looking at November 30th. So that's what that show is. And I'm thinking, damn, how the hell are they even going to top this ending for next week's show? Like, there's no way they're not going to be able to top that. I mean, maybe obviously they can, but right now I just can't imagine it because it was such a good ending where I kind of felt like for the last couple of weeks, things have kind of felt like, we're getting into the holiday season. Things are kind of slowing down. There's not really too much going on. And then all of a sudden, tonight on SmackDown, things just like skyrocketed yay high, where all of a sudden it's like, all right, we're back in business. We got shit to do. It almost feels like this feels like the pre-WrestleMania season right now. And that's what I'm liking.
I was gonna say, I like now that I think about it, because I thought about this last year when Punk returned, and it was too quick to get into that. And obviously they were gonna do the Seth Punk route, and they still should do Seth Punk at some point. But I'm not so sure Roman Punk won't be the best feud that they've, including The Rock, including everybody. When just their personalities on the mic, the way that they're going to be able to build it, and those stare downs, I feel like that could be the hottest possible thing that they could put on low key.
And two very hardcore fan bases too, because Roman Reigns has hardcore fans, like hardcore fans. But you know who's had an even longer hardcore fan base?
Mhm.
CM Punk.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, Robin, when it comes down to Roman and CM Punk, everybody's going to have to pick a side and stick to that side. We're going to want hardcore extremists here. I'm going to be that person, by the way. I already know what side I'm going to be on. I'm going to be on the CM Punk side. Robin, are you going to be on the Roman side?
I'm going to be on the Roman side. The AEW locker room is going to be on the Roman side throwing up the ones.
You see what I mean, though? Like, even right now, talking about it for 2 seconds, I'm like, I'm definitely on Punk. And you're like, I'm definitely on Roman. Everybody's going to pick a side.
But like I when I pick sides like this, I'm one of these weirdos because I was at WrestleMania, right? And I think the lady next to me was a little confused because I kept popping for both people in various matches because I like them both, right? Like, so that would be the same thing. Yeah, when CM Punk drops that killer line on Roman, I'm a pop. When Roman drops that killer line on CM Punk, I'm a pop. Overall, I got to go with my big dog, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. But I want to see it because I think that's lightning in a bottle. It cannot miss. They're too good at freestyling, ad-libbing. Their presence, even their delivery is perfect for one another. And again, I think in the ring, Roman is the perfect counterpart for CM Punk because he can pace that match and tell the story with drama, and we could get the equivalent of a classic type match that way without a bunch of crazy move sets going on.
I'm telling you, the ending of SmackDown today was successful because here we are having the conversation of Roman Reigns versus CM Punk.